Cobra Kai Season 6 has managed to address a complaint from earlier in the show in a brutal way. Cobra Kai Season 6 has been a whirlwind with the team from Miyagi-Do getting ready for the Sekai Taikai, but Part 2 took things to another level. While the show originally began airing in 2018, and it highlighted the characters of Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence from the original Karate Kid films, it has evolved to become an entirely different story. As the show was finding its feet in the earlier seasons, there were shocking moments that delivered big twists, but there was also some degree of inconsistency. Johnny and Daniel were constantly bickering like teenage boys, while the students they trained were getting into rivalries. But the show also played a lot of moments for comedy, and when it came to having darker, more intense dramatic scenes, the show didn't always follow through. However, Cobra Kai Season 6 certainly changed that. The speed of Miguel's recovery was criticized as unrealistic in Cobra Kai Season 3. Miguel overcame a life-changing injury in no time. One of the most jaw-dropping moments in Cobra Kai's entire run was the moment when Miguel Diaz is kicked over a railing, and lands on the stairs below, by Robbie Keane. The fall happens as the final heartbreaking moment of Cobra Kai Season 2, and it certainly gave fans a cliffhanger that they needed to get answers for, because Miguel may never be able to walk again. However, despite the intense injury, Miguel recovers swiftly in Cobra Kai Season 3, and regains his confidence shortly thereafter. While this is not a bad lesson about getting knocked down and getting back up, it does undermine the seriousness and intensity of what happened. Miguel suffered a spinal injury, and in a brutal way. This could have left him paralyzed for the rest of his life. And while physio and exercise can help, there would be no guarantee that Miguel could participate in martial arts again. The show's depiction of his recovery did not match the injury, and ultimately, it took what was a very serious storyline and made it into something much less significant. Kwon's death in Cobra Kai Season 6 brutally showed the danger of martial arts feuds. There is a brutal and dangerous side to martial arts that Cobra Kai avoided till now. However, Cobra Kai Season 6 corrects this in a huge way with the Part 2 cliffhanger ahead of the show's last 5 episodes. In Episode 10, all the competitors at the Sekai Taikai get into an all-out brawl. While the cameras are rolling, and the teams should be competing in the ring, these students instead engage in an intense battle, with even the coaches getting in on the action. However, there is nothing friendly about this competition, and it ends with the death of Kwon after he attempts to wield a knife against another fighter. The fact is, Cobra Kai cannot go back on death in the show. While Miguel's injury was quickly swept under the rug, and he was back in fighting form in no time, Kwon is gone for good. And this highlights an important lesson that Cobra Kai has only really toyed with up to this point. Martial arts can be incredibly dangerous when used improperly. Rather than training for discipline and defense, the students featured on the show have engaged in feuds and rivalries that have only led to accidents, injuries, and now even death. Cobra Kai has become so much darker since it started. The tone of the show matured with the audience. Originally, it made sense for the show to maintain a lighter tone, and focus more on comedy with the rivalry between Daniel and Johnny, but as the story developed, the series has gotten a lot darker. This shows growth in the show, and it provides opportunities for resolution, such as between Johnny and Daniel, or Sam and Tori, but for others, like Kreese and Terry Silver, the show explores the ugliness and brutality of conflict. Now, with the incredibly aggressive Kwon suffering fatal consequences for his headstrong and reckless approach, the show has gone darker than ever before. Considering the audience has likely got links to the original films, it's safe to assume that most people watching at home are adults. And when it comes to creating content for adults, complex and thought-provoking stories often land better. While the comedy was fun, and there are still light and bright moments, Cobra Kai embracing those tough topics only makes the show stronger. And with Kwon's fatal ending in Cobra Kai Season 6, the show has certainly done that.